Welcome to my Storytime by MyBookSummary.com. Get ready for quick wisdom of countless stories and explore. I Need My Monster by Amanda Noll. In Amanda Noll's delightful children's book, I Need My Monster, readers are introduced to a young boy named Ethan, who faces the all-too-real challenge of nighttime fears. Unlike other children, Ethan's fear isn't based on monsters lurking under his bed. It's the absence of his monster. Yes, Ethan has his very own monster, and when he's missing, the whole world feels just a little bit scarier. This endearing story teaches us about the importance of comfort, facing our fears, and finding reassurance when things feel uncertain. Ethan's special monster, a bedtime ritual. From the very start of the book, we learn that Ethan isn't just afraid of monsters. He has a particular monster who helps him through his nightly routine. His monster, named Gabe, is no ordinary creature. He's big, green, and full of sharp teeth, but he's also Ethan's comfort and protector. Gabe isn't a scary monster in the traditional sense. Instead, he's a familiar companion who provides Ethan with the courage to sleep soundly. The dynamic between Ethan and Gabe feels a lot like a comforting bedtime routine that many children can relate to. Just like how a child might rely on a favorite stuffed animal or blanket, Ethan's monster is his constant source of comfort when the lights go out. There's something soothing about knowing you have a guardian, someone or something, watching over you, even in the dark. However, this sense of security is quickly shattered one night when Ethan discovers that Gabe is missing. At first, it's just a minor annoyance, but as time goes on, Ethan's unease grows. Without Gabe, the monsters under the bed seem scarier, and the shadows in the corner feel more ominous. Suddenly, Ethan finds himself stuck in a nightmarish world without the one thing that's always helped him face his fears: the search for a replacement. Determined to find a replacement for Gabe, Ethan embarks on a unique quest. Instead of lying helplessly in the dark, he takes matters into his own hands. Literally. Ethan reaches under his bed and begins to call for a new monster. What happens next is both funny and heartwarming as Ethan encounters several different monsters, each one trying to convince him they are the right fit for the job. But none of them quite measure up to Gabe's protective presence. There's the snappy and bitey monster with a mouth full of sharp teeth, who seems like he might be a little too frightening for Ethan. Another monster is blue and slimy, which isn't exactly what Ethan was hoping for. The claws, the fangs, the tails, none of these monsters feel quite right. As the search for a new protector intensifies, it's clear that Ethan has a very specific idea of what makes a good bedtime monster. This is the moment where the story becomes relatable for both children and parents. Ethan doesn't just need any monster. He needs his comforting and familiar monster, the one that he trusts. It's an emotional journey of trying to replace something irreplaceable, and the humor in Ethan's search for the right monster brings lightness to the story, showing that it's okay to laugh at our fears along the way. The return of Gabe, a heartwarming resolution. Just when things seem bleak, and Ethan's collection of monster alternatives grows more absurd, Gabe finally returns. The moment of reunion between Ethan and his beloved monster is heartwarming and comforting. Gabe isn't just a protector, he's a symbol of home and security. With his familiar presence back by his side, Ethan can finally rest easy, knowing that his trusted monster is watching over him once again. The story concludes with Ethan's realization that while other monsters might come and go, the bond between him and Gabe is something special and irreplaceable. This emotional resolution reinforces the idea that true comfort comes from familiar sources of reassurance. And sometimes, even the scariest of monsters can become our closest allies. The core message: facing fears and finding comfort. At its core, I Need My Monster is a story about overcoming fear. The fear of the unknown, the fear of the dark, and the fear of being alone are all themes that children, and adults, experience at some point in life. Ethan's journey through the night without Gabe teaches readers that it's okay to be afraid, but it's also okay to seek comfort and reassurance when fear becomes overwhelming. The monsters in the book are not just fantastical creatures. They are representations of the fears that children may face as they grow and develop. However, the monsters are also shown to be manageable and not as terrifying once you have the right support. Gabe, in his own peculiar way, provides Ethan with the emotional armor he needs to feel safe. The story also subtly emphasizes that familiarity and routine are incredibly important in overcoming fears. Just as Ethan feels safer when Gabe is around, children often find comfort in their familiar routines, be it bedtime stories, specific toys, or certain rituals. This recognition of how comfort and security can help children handle their fears is powerful and validating. Final thoughts: a charming, funny, and comforting tale. In conclusion, I Need My Monster is a beautifully written and illustrated book that explores the themes of fear, comfort, and emotional support in a way that's engaging for children. The story is lighthearted, humorous, and filled with charming illustrations that bring the monsters to life in an approachable and fun way. It's a delightful read that not only entertains but also offers an important life lesson. It's okay to be afraid, and it's okay to ask for help when you need it. Children will undoubtedly relate to Ethan's fear of the unknown and his quest for comfort. Parents will appreciate the humorous tone and the emotional depth of the story, which makes it a perfect read for bedtime. At the heart of it, I Need My Monster is a story about growth, about learning to face fears, understanding the importance of comfort, and realizing that help can come in the most unexpected forms. Whether it's a monster under the bed or a fear that keeps you awake at night, this book serves as a reminder that there's always a solution, and sometimes, the answer is simply a little reassurance from someone you trust. Stay tuned for more enlightening content. Head over to www.mybooksummary.com. Don't forget to subscribe and share the magic with friends. And let's grow together through the power of books and interesting stories.